The Mandalorian is only days away, and one of my biggest questions about this series is the so-called major Star Wars spoiler, and I believe the trailers have been giving us hints about what the spoiler is. This idea of a major spoiler was revealed in the New York Times article where it was suggested that The Mandalorian, which contains a dramatic Star Wars universe spoiler in the first episode, and it will be available the moment that Disney Plus starts. Now I'll admit that it's hard to pin down a specific point in the timeline this spoiler will come from, as suggested by the folks over at /Film. They ask, could that bounty be related to one of the beloved main saga characters? Is this a peek at Rey's past that fans are so desperate to discover? Or could the franchise's most famous bounty hunter Boba Fett, the character that many thought would be the star of the series, make a return? Now this is all wild speculation by /Film and hasn't really been hinted at by the trailers. And I especially think the bit of Rey's parents would totally overshadow the beginning of this series, so there's no way we're getting any sort of hints of main saga characters and any spoilers that involve them. But I do truly think that the trailers are suggesting something about this spoiler. And I believe one of those hints comes from Werner Herzog and the mini trailers that are out for The Mandalorian. He states that it's a shame that your people suffered, and of course he's talking to the Mandalorian, so he's talking about how the Mandalorian people suffered. This made me think straight away that something horrible had happened to Mandalore in the Mandalorian Rebellion. Remember when we left the Mandalorians last, it was in Star Wars Rebels, where a rebellion against the Empire was united behind the leadership of Bo-Katan. But did this rebellion go horribly wrong? It's an interesting question, and I think we get another hint in the latest Vanity Fair trailer. Nick Nolte's character, the Ugnaught named Kull, says he has never met a Mandalorian and has only heard the stories. Now the Outer Rim is a big place, so it is possible that this Ugnaught has truly never met a Mandalorian, but I believe that this is another hint that the Mandalorians have become a rarity in the galaxy, and something horrible happened to eliminate most of them. And this just makes a lot of sense. It's exactly why this series is called The Mandalorian, and the main character is simply just referred to as the Mandalorian. Personally, I'm convinced that Mandalorian space and the Mandalorians have suffered a massive loss. We learned from Star Wars Rebels that the Empire had in their possession weapons that specifically targeted Mandalorian armor. Now that weapon was destroyed in Star Wars Rebels, but I'm sure something similar or even more powerful could have been built by the Empire. Not to mention the sheer power of the Imperial fleet to bombard the Mandalorian planets. I fear that this massive spoiler isn't looking so good for Mandalore. And of course this would all contribute to the idea and help it make sense that the Mandalorian, a true Mandalorian unlike Boba Fett, is a wandering warrior. This is why he isn't on Mandalore, and exactly why he's a bounty hunter. He just has no Mandalorian clan left to work for. And of course that idea certainly ties into the Western feel of the show and gives us a reason why the character is doing what he's doing. Let me know what you think in the comments, and may the Force be with you.